Bonjour everyone, and welcome back to what is going to be the final look at Montpellier's career mode here on Rugby Challenge 4. 4 seasons we went through with some real highs, some real lows, but of course, the mission to succeed was finally accomplished. Today's episode is going to be all about looking back over those last 4 seasons, looking at our standout players, our disappointments, our league leaders, and of course, our trophy wear. So if you want to join me, you can. Let me know in the comment section below who you think deserves to go in each of the following categories as we make our way through them. We're going to have things like underrated players, overrated players, forgotten heroes, and of course we'll wrap it all up with a big MVP award going to one special player. So do not forget, get your thinking caps on now and put your comments in the comment section below. I love seeing what you guys think about the series as well. Also coming up on the channel is going to be an update coming very soon. I'm working on it now as to what 2023 is going to look like here on the channel. So if you want to know what's going on, keep your eyes peeled for that. A bit of a transitional zone now through the end of this series and into new and exciting things. But concentrating now on Montpellier and of course what we achieved throughout the 4 seasons. European Champions Cup winners in Season 3 and of course Top 14 winners in Season 4. This is where it finished up. What a performance it was. I was just reading about what Marcus Mapimpi had to say about the great fans of Montpellier and how good it is being a Montpellier player. But we were wrapped up the 2024 Top 14 champions, and we arrived home after the 21-14 victory over a very, very tough Bordeaux Begler side who lost to only one team all season. They lost to us 3 times, and that, in the end, is what really matters. So let's dig into it and take a look at first, in our mail, the player achievements for 2024 and see if we've got any players in here that really stood out. And straight away I can see we have 3 players in the top 5 try scorers, which really is a massive statement from this Montpellier side. Vladimir Vakatawa led the way with 13 tries, and he was closely followed by Cody Popper from Clermont with 12. Marcus Mapimpi equaled up with Alvarez Raka and Cyril Bailey from Toulon with 11 tries each. How good is that, seeing Vakatawa, Mapimpi, and Raka all there on 13, 11, and 11. That is a huge chunk of our tries right there. What is that? 24, 35 tries from just 3 players over the season. When it comes to top 5 goal kickers, we really did rotate through 3 of them. We had Lopez, of course, who spent a lot of the season injured, but we also had what eventually came to be our number 1 fly half in Tommaso Allen. Near the end of the season, he spent a lot of the season injured as well. But the main man, week after week, season after season, to be fair, that has always been there for us, Anthony Bello, finished in 4th place with 39. And let's be honest, could have easily made that into those 40s, if not those 50s, of Hanrahan up there in 2nd spot. Marty Banks takes the crown though. Carbonell in there at 3rd with 40, and Sam Davis down in 5th with 39, equal with our boy Bello. Right, let's have a look at the rest of these top 5 point scorers. We're very similar, although we have been ousted by Tom Smith and Zach Holmes. Davis goes up, and we say goodbye to Carbonell and Bello. We've got no one in the top 5 point scorers, but hey, who cares? We've got the trophies. Let's move on though to our team specifically and our real standouts. I thought we could just start things off with the factual stats, things like top try scorer, and there we'll move on to the things that are all about opinion. The players I thought were overachievers and the players I thought were disappointments. Those are the big 2. But we'll move on now to our biggest try scorer. You saw already Vakatawa, Mapimpi, Raka, all there, but none of those 3 got the crown. One man's been in this team since day dot, and to be fair, he's probably only 1 place or 1 injury away from being in the starting lineup week in, week out. But think about it. Season 1, week in, week out, pass the ball to Vincent Ritties. Season 2, we got a little bit of backup, but no one really improved us on those wings. Again, give the ball to Ritties. Season 3, we started to get a bit more serious, and Ratiz was still a big part of that starting 15. Moving into the final and 4th season, he wasn't the starter, of course, if we were fully fit, but if you've watched this series, you'll know you're never really ever fully fit. Ratiz, all 4 seasons, he was a linchpin for the side, and it's no question why he finished as the top try scorer for this Montpellier team. Vincent Ratiz, your leading try scorer. Now, it took us a while to really nail down a really good fly half. Remember, we had guys like Skinner and Heron, the 2 Englishmen together, and of course before that, and still, we've got Darmon, who spent a bit of time there. We mixed things up. Panavani spent some time at 10 as well, but no one really nailed down that spot like Anthony Bello. He came into this team, and he was the man. Spent very little time injured, always on top of his game, and throughout at least 2 seasons, he was the man, consistently putting points on the board. And it's no question, and there's no argument why this man is the leading point scorer for Montpellier over the 4-season career. He was consistently the best man. Loved to get up there and support play as well. Scored a good few tries on his journey, but Anthony Bello was the top dog throughout this career. Ousted right at the end by Tommaso Allen, but we all know the man who got us to where we are is right here for that number 10 jersey. Anthony Bello, here's your leading point scorer for Montpellier. Now let's go straight down to what many will consider probably a negative. Let's look at the overrated player throughout the career mode. Now, I've actually got a few little options for this one, 3 to be in fact, but don't worry, I got 4 options for the most underrated player, so I think we had some real standouts. But as for Montpellier's most overrated signing, a guy we brought in thinking he was going to be spectacular, and he was disappointing. A few names might be popping to your guys' head already, so let me know in the comments who you thought was a disappointment for you. Let's see if we agree, at least on the nominations of these players. Now, first up, this is, I think, it's almost a bit harsh, but I signed Carlin Isles as a guy I thought mentally we're at a space of this team. It was season 2, and I thought we don't have the best players. We're not going to just out and out beat teams with skill and ability, but if we've got a guy that can get an open space, I want to know he's gone. And Carlin Isles is that man. His speed and acceleration are phenomenal. His agility's not bad either. But ultimately, he spent a lot of time injured. Also, when he left, he spent a lot of time injured as well at other clubs in France. But he just didn't quite get off the mark. He scored a few tries here and there, but didn't have the impact, unfortunately, that I hoped he was going to have. Much like this man, Jan Serfontein, another who was a big outlay for us, a non-EU import, so a non-European player, so an Australian, South African, New Zealander, American like Isles. Jan Serfontein was supposed to absolutely solidify that midfield after the retirement to what I think is going to be the forgotten hero of this series. I won't give it away just yet, but let's jog your memory and see if you remember who that midfielder was that retired after the first couple of seasons. This man was supposed to come in. I thought, yeah, 81 rated. He's going to step in there nicely. He's going to link up beautifully, and he's going to be a massive linchpin for the side. Again, unfortunately, he didn't deliver. He didn't get injured too much. He just didn't perform for us, and sadly, he's going to be right up there, but unfortunately, he's not going to be our massive overrated player of the series. And sadly, they're all backs, and as we go on, they're going to be outside backs as well. I just can't go past this guy when it comes to overrated players that promised so much and delivered so little. That award goes to Louis Rees-Zammit. Oh, what a player he could have been. All the skills, all the abilities, but when you compare him to what guys like Mapimpi, Araka, Vakatsawa are doing now, he just does not compare. Didn't step up to the level we expected and just didn't really add much to us. Fortunately, he wasn't a non-EU player, so we can have a few of them in the squad, but still, I expected a lot from the young Welsh star, and for me, he was the most overrated player we signed. We expected a lot, a like of Serfontein, but we got delivered so very, very little. And for an outside back, a position where you can just give a guy the ball and hope he does something special. Sorry, Lewis, you didn't hit the mark for us, and that is why you are my most overrated player of the series. Who is yours? Let me know in the comment section below, and we can have a look at those too. Okay, so let's move on to underrated players throughout this series. And there's kind of a bit of an irony about this whole situation here. We've got overrated players, they're all backs. Underrated players, all of them bar one, are forwards. And I've got 4 of them, so we've got 3 forwards and 1 back. Wyn Jones is where we start. Do you remember we actually signed him? Yeah, the big prop, he was a quality player. Really stepped up, only 70 rated. I didn't expect him to be a starter just to improve on our depth, but he really pushed his way through, made a lot of impact, big breaks, big player, got close to the action, and I was really impressed with what we got from Wyn Jones. The forwards really were the stars of the series. And this man nearly stole the whole show. Who was starting in that grand final? Yeah, it was Fabian Zacconi. Why and how he got to that situation is just on performance. And performances that build trust in a player that you know is going to step up to the mark and give you a solid performance week in, week out. Zacconi often pushed to the bench, even beyond. But somehow, this guy kept getting opportunities and he kept performing at a great level. So close to being the man I would give underrated player of the series, but I've got one more who is just sentimentally the guy to give this award to. But you've got 2 forwards. It's out of a back, it's out of a forward. Who's going to get the award for the most underrated player of the series? Who would have thought? Season 1, you have this guy, Jovan Roelhak, this young midfielder who could do, well, everything. Right from day one, he wasn't the best player in this team. Yet somehow, much like Zacconi, he survived to the end, and despite being injured, would have been on the bench had he not been in that grand final. Jovan Roelhak is a guy who just screams of solidness. He doesn't do anything too spectacular. He's got his moments of shiny brilliance, but overall, he just does things well. He defends well, he attacks, he doesn't drop the ball every single time, and he just does things nicely. I like what we got from Jovan Roelhak. Sadly, he is a fluff away from that number 1 spot. But my most underrated player of this series, here he is. Mikael Capelli. What a guy. Much like a couple of the others, since season 1, Capelli was here. 23 years old he started, and again, even in season 1, he was not the best player in his position. Should have he lasted till season 2? Not really. But performances build trust, and that trust makes me want to keep him around. Mikael Capelli, great player, played a stack of games throughout season 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just goes to show, at 66 rating, he can still be good enough to kick it with the best around. Trust on Capelli, trust on Roelhak, trust on Zacconi and Wyn Jones to get the jobs done. 4 great players, but my most underrated player of the Montpellier career mode is this man, Mikael Capelli. Yours, please, let me know. Next up, we've got a couple of awards here that are just based on factual stats, but of the opinion of players that just do something really well or really poorly. We'll start things off with the Butterfingers Award. You don't need any sort of more introduction as to what that award is. It's the guy who has dropped the ball the most. And season after season that we've had him at least, this man was right up there. He was our leading handling errors man, and he was every season he was in the team. Teddy Thomas, great player, and how, oh how, a guy with 72 catching can be your leading handling error player that's not even a starter. I don't know how he did it. It's impressive, to say the least. It really, really is. But Teddy Thomas, Butterfingers, boy, do better next time. Great little player, though. Great to have in the team. But an award that I didn't think I'd be giving him. Mr. Butterfingers, Teddy Thomas. Now, you saw this man just before for one of the most underrated players of the series, but this award is going to the Snake. That's what we're calling it, the Snake Award. The most line breaks by a single player over the whole career. Now, obviously, players that played in the early times and lasted all the way through do have that slight advantage, but Jovan Roelhak was right up there in the last 2 seasons as well. No, he wasn't the top line breaker this season, but he was in the top 3. Let that sink in of how much rugby Jovan Roelhak played in season 4. That's right, not a whole huge deal, but he's a man that breaks the line, and that is why he is coming here as the Snake, the man that wiggles his way through gaps, creates chances and opportunities, and that's why his good old mate, I'd imagine on the outside, Vincent Ortiz, loves to see a bit of Jovan on the inside channels as well. Creates that opportunity, and we know we've got those finishers on the outside. Jovan Roelhak, he is your Snake, the most line breaks of the career. Now, I had to give this next man an award of some capacity, and I've decided a couple of names for this one. Maybe the Tap. We could call it the Tap Award, or maybe the award for the player you'd most likely to give a hug and then turn around 5 minutes later and punch him right in the face. That award goes to Edoardo Padovani. Yeah, Padovani, the Italian. What a great player. Really did boost our team. Great attacking flair, but boy, oh boy, I tell you what, he can be so bad at the same time. Cost us in the semi-final of Season 3. Threw the ball away when we were hot on chasing that game down. So many chances went away with Padovani, so many chances were created with Padovani. We upgraded him with Minozzi in Season 4, and boy, I tell you what, Minozzi, a whole different class of player, but Edoardo Padovani really has a legacy here at Montpellier. A great player, but boy, 1 minute you want to hug him, the next minute you want to just sock him in the nose. He is the Tap, Edoardo Padovani. This next award is for the King, because he's the King. He joined our team at Montpellier, and he's Marcus all a damn Mapimpi. What a player, what a man, you've got to give him a reward. He's Mapimpi, he's the best of the best, and he leaves the rest in the dust. I don't know why I want to do this, but he's the King, he's in our team, I love the man. Now we are getting to the business end of this awards. Now we've got a couple more to go, and of course the MVP before we wrap it up, having a look at our best 15 throughout the whole career. That is where I'm interested to see where you guys think players come in and out of the side. But here is our forgotten heroes. This man here is an honourable mention. He's a man who really didn't feature much after Season 1, but his impact, really only off the bench, he had 3 game-winning tries in the 80-plus minutes. This is a man that come on through injury or whatever and created something to turn a match around. He's garbage. He's 66 rated. He's not the fastest. He can't step. He can't tackle. He can't break tackles. He can't do much. But he can catch a ball and run to the corner to score a try. He has been a player that just does the unthinkable for his rating, and it was a joy to have this little no-namer running around winning us games. Honourable mention for Forgotten Heroes, but there's one more who really is the Forgotten Hero. Featuring on the Season 1 thumbnail. There's no question to this man. Jeffrey Domaru is the man. He's the guy. You cannot get past him. Starting a team with an 82 rated winger in Ratiz and then an 84 rated outside centre in Domaru just made things so much better for us. Season 2, when he retired, the wheels kind of fell off. We did find that replacement straight away, and that cost us, I think, during that season. We did recover, however, but gee, I tell you what, Jeffrey Domaru was a great player, a standout man, so good throughout. Look at his skills, flat consistently near those 80s, and he is an absolute stunning player. Retired early, a shame to lose him, but he certainly is my forgotten hero of the Montpellier career mode. Now the final award is the big one. We've left it all to this. We've got this final MVP award before having a look at our best 15, in my opinion, throughout the whole series. I want to know yours as well, so get writing those down in the comments as we make our way there to those last 15 players. But here it is, your MVP for the 4 seasons of the Montpellier career mode. This was easy to select. It goes to the blindside flanker, Albin Plessines. What a man. What an absolute hero of a player Plessines is. Just consistently incredible. Great around the breakdown, great around the field, superb in defence, support lines in attack, securing new ball. He is just the pinnacle of a rugby player, especially in a back rower. Plessines is the pinnacle player. He is the jewel in the Montpellier crown, the one whose face should be on that top 14 plaque. He is an amazing player and easily my MVP of this career mode. Who is yours? What player do you think helped this team and changed this team as much or more than Albin Plessines? Let me know in the comments section, of course, but he is easily my player of the series. No one even comes close. Okay, well that does leave us with just one thing remaining. We're going to fire through our starting 15 for the best players at Montpellier. And this is, again, just my opinion, so let me know your thoughts, who you would change, bring in, bring out over the 4 seasons. I do get a bit sentimental of some of these players, so of course, you guys may not agree. Let me know your thoughts. We'll start things off though. Front row, take a look at this team. On the loose head side of the front row, we start the big number 1, Sedat Gomez, the French loosehead prop, consistent throughout, not our best guy in the number 1 jumper, overtaken by Chiolki, but man, he had a huge impact, good depth, great player to bring on the park as well, and to be fair, maybe should have been starting over Chiolki as well, but easily, over this whole career, Gomez was my number one. Moving into hooker, and this is a name and a man who was just bizarre. Come on as a replacement, and then started kicking goals. I didn't know what was going on, but there's no question why Vincent Guidasali is my pick for my favourite hooker in this team. What a player he is, so versatile, and he gets around the park nicely as well. Really enjoyed what we got out of Guidasali this 4 seasons, and loved having him in the team. Well, if there's 1 or 2 positions in this lineup that I don't think you'll be able to disagree with, it's this one. On the tight head side of the front row, Demba Bamba. What a player. How he's not, I don't know, MVP. He probably is the closest that'll come to Plessines, but Demba Bamba, fantastic player. Boosts around the park, powerful, impactful. Not the highest rated, but man, I wouldn't trade him for another tight head in the world. What a player Demba Bamba is, and an absolute joy to have in this team. Into the second row, and he was the number 1 underrated player, so I've got to put him in here as well. I enjoyed having Mikel Capelli in this team. I've talked about how good he is, so I won't say too much, but again, consistent, fun guy, loved the yellow headgear, and knew exactly where he was. And we go a bit more recent with his second row partner, Romain Taufifenua. Big man, tall, powerful, we nicked him in, he was huge, big impact for our side, and a really good tight 5 pack there for this Montpellier best 15. Now into the back row, and there's no question who's going to be my number 6. It is Albin Plessines. We've talked about how good he is already, so I won't go on about this one much, but his impact at 6, amazing. His combination with the others, it didn't matter who was there, he was that next tier player. Plessines at 6, no question. Now on the open side, it was a bit of a difficult one to come away with, but I've decided to go with a bit of a veteran of the series and a man who was there originally from the start, Yakuba Kamara, the big man from the start, capable on the open side. We played him at number 8, we played him at 6, but what a player he is, a versatile, impactful again, and he was there throughout. Special place in my heart for Mr. Kamara, loved having him there. A few choices for number 8 to pick from, but I've gone with the man who I trusted the most, Fabian Sanconi. What a player he was. Again, talked a lot about him throughout the underrated players, so I won't say too much, but Sanconi, great off the back of a scrum, great around the paddock. Sanconi's the man, and he's got a fantastic name. What's not to love? Moving into the back line now, and this was a really tough one. We had a lot of scrum halves. Some of them were pretty average. Some of them did a job, but I think ultimately the man who really improved this team the most in that position was our current number 9, Anton Dupont. Probably the only one that could really kick us out of trouble, gave us that depth in that position, and just added a lot to this team. No question about how good he is, but his impact as well was second to none. Number 10 picks itself, leading point scorer for the series, Anthony Bello. Amazing player, great goal kicker, Mr. Consistent, a bit like the old school, number 10 Ben Smith, if you would. Just does things well, and that's what I like about Mr. Bello. Left wing, Marcus Olumipimpi. Why? He's the king. I can't leave him out. He's the king. Now, how about this midfield? I'll partner them together because they're just that good together. Arthur Vincent, Jovan Rolhag, old school combination, still stepping it up at this level in Season 4. Love seeing the two of them together. Love what they did throughout the season. You just can't go past them. Vincent, Rolhag means consistency, means excitement, means tries. But we just got better. But over the whole career mode, I can't go past those two. And it stands as we move our way through to the right wing as well. You can't look past our leading try scorer, Vincent Ritties. He's the man. Speed. Great rating from the start. 4 seasons of consistency. Love the man. Now, fullback was a little bit tricky, I think, to pick, but I've eventually gone with, again, a man who was here for a while. He's got a special place in the heart of Montpellier, and that is Anthony Bottier. A great player. Again, consistent. Nothing flashy. I would have loved to put him a Nosy in there because he really did spark things. But Bottier was always there. Great goal kicker as well. Gives us depth in that. But I just like what he brought to the squad throughout the 4 seasons. And he was a real star-studded man at that fullback position. Played a little bit in midfield. I think he even featured once or twice at 10. A little bit on the wing as well. You got to love what he offers. And that is the 15 position. And the whole 15 for mine. Let me know yours. Favourite or top 15 from the Montpellier career mode. Let me know yours. Of course, I want to know if you've changed anything. Players I've forgotten about. I've looked through 4 seasons of footage saying who was this guy who I really liked in this team. I think I've got a lot of them, but do let me know if you think of anyone else who you thought was an absolute class act. I'll see you very, very soon, of course, for more updates and more rugby videos as well. We've got real life rugby starting up as well, which is great over the break. We've had a bit of a rest. Now it's time to get into the action for 2023. I hope you all enjoyed the Montpellier career mode, and I hope you're looking forward to more rugby action here on the channel. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more, do not forget to subscribe. It will be coming directly your way if that is the case. And of course, I want to know your players, your best players, your standouts, the guys you loved throughout the series. Hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, of course, a big thanks to everyone out there, and take care.